Good morning. Yeah, surprise, surprise. You're not seeing my face. Yeah, rewatching yesterday's recording, somehow I felt, nah, this is not it. So I thought we just do something different today, and I just walk with you to the same spot where I've been recording the last few days. So come along. I also wasn't so happy about yesterday's take because somehow I felt, it's not really representing what my actual state, my present, my current state actually is. So let's give it another shot, literally. Yeah, first and foremost, I just wanted to take a moment and just acknowledge that this has been a wonderful journey for me. I hope it's been enriching for you in some sense as well. Yeah, when I was uploading the video last night, I just thought, the way I describe my present situation in comparison with things I've been telling you about in 2018 and 1920. Yesterday I said the intensity of back then, the 24/7 heart pounding with an intensity that is basically unbearable and makes it impossible to rest. That intensity has slightly reduced. But what I didn't express and what became very clear to me yesterday again was it's not as, it doesn't feel anymore as much of a survival thing. Like, am I going to survive this moment, yeah, or the next hour? Yeah, so let's say it's the edge is not as much. Other challenges have come up, like the nausea that has been accompanying me. And yeah, for that a perfect example actually was yesterday. Yeah, sorry, I pressed play, pause, and then I forgot to press play again, so we missed a little part of the of our way. So yeah, let me just stop for a second. The nausea is a good example for how looks can be deceiving. Yeah, and the topic I've been speaking about is the difference in perception. Because what people saw of me yesterday was somebody that at 3 different times during the day either ran on the beach, climbed on trees, or did some push-ups or stuff like that. So from an outer perspective, you would see a person that either has too much energy or is really in good shape or something like that. What was happening inside of me was, after the first meal, the nausea that I've been feeling the last few days in the morning hours intensified greatly, and I knew if I don't do this, this intense physical activity, then the body just goes down that road and I end up emptying myself completely. And that is, I mean, it's not only unpleasant in that moment, it's also, it leaves me very drained for several days because I just lose too much liquids, I guess, and all the rest of it. Well, here you see the perspective from outside, and from inside this desperate attempt, almost feeling like, you know what, the last thing I want to do is move. But in order to pull out, well, let's go. And it feels almost violent to myself to kick myself in the butt and to make me do these things. But the experience of, well, having done this so many times, is just too horrible. I think I'm gonna quickly pause now because the sound of the cicadas here now is so deafening. Or maybe I just walk with you. Yes, this is the final stretch of yeah, of this winding path before coming out of the yeah, whatever you want to call it, thick vegetation, and then suddenly, surprise, surprise, being out in the open. So I love coming here in the morning. It's away from everything. You can hear the sound of the cicadas is now diminishing, and it's now the sound of the ocean. And yeah, well, there we are, out in the open. Yeah, let's take a moment to appreciate. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I guess what I still wanted to share, it is very difficult. I mean, even me listening to myself, yeah, listen to yesterday's take. I just had this strong sense, no, this is a misrepresentation of comparing back then with what is now. Obviously, there's oftentimes a feeling of, you know, I can't get across what I'm actually experiencing. And for people to make sense, I would have to actually act in ways, my behavior should look a certain way that it can make sense to them. Well, but that's, I mean, then that's the end of authenticity. And it's also, what I then bring into the world would be negativity, grumpiness, being angry and desperate and all the rest of it. And what's the point? So, as I said, for me, this journey of sharing my story and making these daily videos is creating accountability for myself, and I'm really, really grateful to be able to do this. And if just one more person bears witness to that, that's actually enough. Other than that, it just, at this point in time, it just feels right. And I think that's enough for me. I don't want to overthink it. I'm aware of, in between I get lost in story, and then I jump back onto a kind of bird's eye perspective, sharing insights and understanding. This is a constant back and forth, and I just let this thing unfold. I don't script anything, so I just let it take its course. And yeah, if you're happy to be here with me, then beautiful. You're more than welcome. If at any point of time you feel like you want to comment on something, share something yourself, or ask me about something, well, by all means, feel free to do so. Just drop a comment. There's so few people watching this, so it's no problem for me to keep track. It might take a day or two for me to answer, but we're not in a rush, I guess. Yeah, the other things are going quite well. Yeah, the things I promised myself I would do, the meditation, the eating between 10 and 5, except that I still have no nausea nonetheless. For me, what comes up, it's an invitation to even tune in even more and eat still more mindfully, like to serve myself a plate, for example, then move out of the kitchen and then sit down, and that's the serving, and then really enjoy it, actually. Yeah, so there's a level of satisfaction, not just satiety, but satisfaction, actually. And then yeah, what else? Yeah, the stretching is I'm really enjoying, even though it's still a short routine, but it's beautiful to get the body a little more flexible again. Yeah, there's so much more I could say. Like, this one thing that keeps coming back to me is I basically want to kind of shout on top of my lungs this speed about cannabis, and I really want to make one video dedicated to this in case somebody's out there who ends up in a similarly desperate state where it's just this one thought: God, make it stop! God, make it stop! I can't take it anymore. Because before taking any meds, please try out cannabis and see if you can manage it like this. Yeah, and for those of you who haven't been in such a dire situation, you might think, why is this guy repeating itself? But I think this is the one information I wish I had, because I literally looked on YouTube and there was nothing I could find regarding heart pounding. There's anxiety and panic attacks and all the rest of it all over the place. But this bit, yeah, and who knows? Maybe at some point somebody reaches out to me and says, oh my God, I've been experiencing the same symptoms as you. The heart pounding, the wired and tired, the insomnia, the weird digestive symptoms, GI, and dry skin, and so many other things. Yeah. I know if you doctors are listening to this now, that you're gonna have your own interpretation. Alrighty, guys, I leave you here. Thanks for being here with me. I truly appreciate. And yeah, today's video for me already feels much more representative of what I want to get out there. And I think I'm just going to take yesterday's offline, because even for myself it created a bit of confusion. That being said, have a beautiful day, and well, I'll be here again tomorrow.